Wendy Knowles, and I'm excited to demonstrate for you today one of my favorite new products, which is the Tin Tile Folder. You'll find it in the Country Lane suite. And unfortunately, a lot of our folders, you can't really tell how beautiful they are until you actually pull them out and do something with them. So it is one of our new dynamic folders, which means it's extra thick so that it gives you more of a 3D pattern. It can do things that are shallower and closer and deeper. And it also gives you such a crisp impression. It is, for those that don't know, with your Big Shot, you only need your regular platform and your folder and one glass plate before you run it through. So don't need too much to work with that, but just remember the one plate or it won't work. Also, it is recommended with our regular cardstock and these dynamic folders that you take some water, and I've just got a little spritzer, just to soften it up a little bit before you put it in your folder. Now there is something that I learned at one of my meetings, and I believe it was Miss Dawn Cotter that told me. I didn't realize, because we had people pushing their paper all the way to the top, and you'll notice there's actually kind of a little 1/4 of an inch up there that doesn't imprint. So Stampin' Up has created this little line down here. So if you put your paper, this is a full-size card, and most of the time you do a little one, but this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. If you put the line right at the bottom of your card, then you don't get that extra lip. So when you put it through the folder or through the Big Shot, make sure you put the fold first, because it helps it last longer. Okay, so we're going to show you a few samples done with just your regular cardstock. This is just white on white, and it's just giving you some really beautiful extra texture. This was done by Miss Ashley Van Camp. It was beautiful. And then we've got one in the Country Lane, but it is done for Christmas with your Christmas colors, and it just adds that really fun extra texture background. You can also use it on your designer paper. This is Nature's Root paper, and so you've got a little bit of texture. You don't want to use a designer paper that's too busy, because the pattern itself is really busy, so just something very subtle. But it was designed to go with our galvanized paper. And so I love this brushed silver that we've got. And you know, for a while I was using this side up, and it just doesn't matter. If you got a double-sided paper, it really doesn't matter which side you use, but then I realized grout usually goes in, and I realized I've been doing my folders upside down the whole time. Well, okay. Oh well. Anyway, but it's just beautiful on this galvanized paper. So I copied one of the samples that was in the catalog. I mean, made it my own a little bit, but pretty much copied it. This is our beautiful new braided trim, and you just use your blends to color it any color you want. Woo-hoo! Just a little 6x6 piece in the middle there. Also, this is a little galvanized metal pumpkin. You just take your 6x6 paper and you cut 8 strips of 3/4 of an inch, and you're going to put a hole in the top and the bottom, and you pull your braided trim through. And I just added some little curly leaves and a little tag. Okay. And here's just another basic card with the background. It just adds so much. That beautiful brushed silver is just gorgeous. Now, you can distress it and make it a little bit less shiny if you want. However, you cannot just do it. You have to actually do a little bit of a sanding job. You see that? Just take a little sander, sand it off, and then you can take a sponge or your dauber or your brayer sponge and give yourself more of a distressed look. It's a little brown, just a little bit more than the shiny. If you put it next to the shiny, does that help? So you can see the difference. Okay. Also, this folder, since it's 6x6, is just the right size to do your gable boxes. And since I mentioned before that I didn't know which side was right or wrong, it doesn't matter that the back side is dented in and the front side's dented out. Nobody's going to notice, ladies. It's okay. So I've got a finished product here, and this one I did distress a little bit, and I added a little brown. It's just hard to see, but up close you can see that it's definitely a little dimmer than your brushed. Anyway, so you got a little dark, but it's beautiful all the way around. It just makes that tile it's just gorgeous. Okay. You can also sponge your paper. This was Vicki Kalant, and she sponged it after she embossed it on the paper. But you can also use your sponge sprayer, get your ink on there, and you actually can ink up your folder with that, or your daubers, or you can actually direct to paper with your ink pad. And then you put it through, and you've got that really fun texture that's imprinted. Get it up close. And my bow kind of went upside down, traveling down here, but you can make it pretty again. Okay, so then I went and played with all our metallics. So we've got our copper, and our gold, and our black, and our silver. Now this one you will want to decide which side is right side up, because the back side's white. Just, you know, little FYI. Okay, so I'm just going to show you this tile folder can last all by itself, and it's kind of the main focus of this card. So simple, just a little 3x3 square with congratulations embossed in copper and some little leaves to highlight, and that's a basic, really simple card. Also, you can see my little reindeer has been embossed. So he's got the fun little texture. So instead of stamping, I embossed the paper and then cut them out. Also, we talked about sanding, and I thought, oh, I wonder, since these are a white core, what it would look like if you sanded, for instance, the black. So I've got kind of that fun little look there. Use the other half of that piece to just give you a cute little card that has a little bit of distressed look to it there. Verdigris, who loves verdigris? This is Bermuda Bay, and then sprinkled, put a little Versamark ink pad on it, just randomly. Pour your copper powder on it, and then you've got a beautiful Bermuda verdigris background where you can emboss the copper and just add and highlight the blues. Can you see that? Yeah. I just had fun with the metallics. So we're gonna make a tri-metal, and I'm only gonna demonstrate a little bit, not the whole thing, because I had to, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I broke my foot this week, so I got a little bit behind. Anyway, this is okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this silver foil paper into a tri-metal. We're gonna do silver, gold, and copper. And you're gonna start by direct to paper with your stays on. That just kind of gives you just a little bit of a rougher edge. And then you're going to take your Versamark and you're just going to randomly put that down. You don't want to do the whole thing, but I mean, I'm not pressing too hard. And then you're going to pour on your copper powder and heat it. And then you're going to do this again in your other spots, and then you're going to put your gold on, or gold and then copper, which is actually what I did, and then heat it up, and by the magic of television, we have this lovely thing. Now, if you've actually put the Versamark on, you pour the powder, and you're noticing that almost everything's covered up. Before you heat it up, just use your finger and like take some of it off. So it's not totally covered, because you want to leave some of that silver in there. So we've got the silver, gold, and the copper. Then you're going to take your stays on once more to add depth, and you're going to do a little bit of that, and it's just going to give you a little more darkness on some of that. So when you're done with that, then you run it through the folder.
Oh, that's
what it looks like. And then you have a finished.
Wow.
So we've embossed the tree in black. You've got the black glitter ribbon. These are our wonderful new gold edged envelopes and cards. You got them in silver and gold for $9.50. You get 20 of them, so it's a great deal. And we've got our really fun leaf embellishment there. So that is my demonstration for today. So hopefully you'll all have some fun new things to do with your tin tile.